Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richard Hopkins. I'm a Professor of Practice here at UNSW. And for those of you who don't know what a Professor of Practice is, I'm a Professor of Industry. I'm non-academic. I actually spent all my working life outside of a university and working in industry. And I'll go into a little bit what that industry was in a little bit. Here at UNSW, I run a couple of student project teams. I think one of them you may have seen outside, which I'll also talk about shortly. So my world before being here at UNSW was one of working to thousandths of a second of accuracy. I spent my life innovating technology and operations at the very highest level. For the last 8 years before I moved from the UK to Sydney in 2015, I operationally ran the Red Bull Formula One team back in the UK and successfully took the team of 800 individuals to 4 back-to-back world championships. This was really working to the absolute pinnacle of engineering and efficiency within engineering. It was high performance, but maybe a different type of high performance than what we're talking about today. It was all about horsepower, top speed, and how fast we can go around a track. And I think today that conversation has changed. We're not necessarily looking at high performance in the same light. I now run SunSwift, our solar team, who have been going since 1996. An illustrious time, been very successful over the years, broken many world records, and in 2019 I'll just qualify my first position. We finished first across the line. It was actually the Dutch that finished first overall, just to... I'm sure Bonner put that slide in sneakily before I got up. So now, here's somebody in front of you that's been across the world of efficiency, high performance at the very highest level. Now I'm working with a solar team. Now will this run? If it doesn't, pray. Okay, it didn't run, which means I'm going to be short on time. That was, just if you didn't realise, it was JFK's announce at Rice University in September 1962. He had already announced at Congress, late 61, that man would land on the moon before the end of the decade. Within that video, and it's a great speech if you haven't seen it already, he actually compresses the last 50,000 years into 50 years and states that the first 40 years we knew nothing. And it's only really those last 10 years, those last 10,000 years that man has innovated. And JFK picks up many milestones within technology and innovation across those times. And what I'm here to announce, I suppose, is my own moonshot, which is to design and build the first non-plug-in, perpetually powered production vehicle. And my intention is to do that in Australia. To work with UNSW, who are absolute experts in research in the field of PV, and taking my skills of Formula One, marry the two together, and hopefully it may not be 10 years' time, maybe it might be closer to 5. Because I think you've seen from the previous speakers that a lot of the technology is here and now. But I'm sure if the press had interviewed the director of NASA after JFK announced what he was planning, and the question was, can we do it? The answer would have been no, but we will do it. Can we do this today? My answer is no. Will we be able to do it? Yes. How are we going to do it? We're working on that. So I think the justification for it is simple, it's fairly obvious. But really, it is and has to be the holy grail of sustainable transport. Zero owner energy consumption costs, zero need for supporting energy infrastructure. What's the range? It's infinite. I'm talking about a vehicle that you can step into on a Monday morning and drive and drive and drive with no limitations. You're not limited to speed, you're not limited to range. So for anybody in the Australian outback, for those Americans who want to take on Route 66, there will be no signs. I almost sound like the guy from Back to the Future, where we go, there are no roads. But it also puts Australia back on the map for innovation and as a leader in sustainable energy. It's a fairly clear vision, a constant pursuit of innovation and renewable and sustainable energy. A vehicle that uses a combination of powers, because it may not just be PV. We'll be looking at other methods. It might be Martin's PV paint. It might be kinetic energy. It might be induction charging. It might be power sharing between vehicles. And a whole lot that we don't know about today, because we're living in a world that is innovating at a faster rate than ever before. We don't know what's going to be happening. You may notice that I've got 8 of the 17 SDGs down the bottom, and this, as an initiative, touches on 8 of those 17. And clear payback. The world's first design built in Australia. A partnership with UNSW to research solar, KERS, energy storage, and all those other things we may not know about. And the plan is to work with other technology partners in Australia and around the world to achieve this. And it's going to be comfortable, and it's going to be affordable, and it's going to be profitable. This would have been a bit longer with JFK, but that's it. Thank you very much.